Good afternoon and welcome to Buzz. I'm Riley Wallace with your afternoon news. Your headlines today. Court proceedings have begun after a fatal stabbing in Bournemouth Town Square.
Lidl's redevelopment plans in Westover Retail
Controversy
Park to
over
be
the
approved.
new
Councillor Joe
plans
Salmon is
to open a Lidl in Westover. BCP council meetings to be held tomorrow morning about the Vitality Stadium expansion. Bournemouth Bobcats celebrate their 40th year anniversary in exclusive Buzz News interview.
Proceedings have begun
A
at
man
Bournemouth
is on
Crown Court.
trial for manslaughter after a stabbing incident in 2023. Our court respondent, Connor Haddow, has more.
Proceedings have begun at Bournemouth Crown Court after a fatal stabbing in Bournemouth Town Square. Thomas Betteridge has been accused of manslaughter and possession of a knife after stabbing Cameron Hamilton, who was pronounced dead at the scene in the early hours of August 5, 2023. Forensic analyst Dr. Jeffries told the jury that Hamilton suffered a stab wound to the upper right of the torso. The jury was shown CCTV footage of the incident. The defendant denies the charges and the case is scheduled to continue for another 4 weeks. Connor Haddow, Buzz News, Bournemouth.
Lidl have resubmitted plans to build a new supermarket in Westover Retail Park. The plans have been viewed as controversial. Sabrina Lade reports.
Lidl's redevelopment plans in Westover Retail Park to be approved. Councillor Joe Salmon is concerned.
We're watching town centres die up and down the country, and this is how they're killed, applications like this. If we are going to develop a site like this, we should be developing it in a way that reduces the pressure on the housing market, reduces the number of people who can't find somewhere to live at a reasonable price.
The councillor stresses the importance of an inclusive community.
And there are no levers we can pull. This is the only way, refusing this application is the only way that we can protect that high street. And I recognise Planning Committee can't go.
Detectives are appealing for witness following a robbery at Meadowbrook Produce in Poole this morning. A man reportedly threatened staff with a knife sharpener before fleeing in a silver VW Golf with cash from the till. A 50-year-old man has been arrested and released on bail while the investigation continues. The Dorset police are urging anyone who was in the area at the time to contact them or call Crime Stoppers anonymously. Flood warnings remain in effect for Christchurch Harbour side, including Mudford and Stampit and Poole Harbour. Officials are urging against travel through flooded areas. Conditions peaked this morning and high tides and strong winds. The Sandbank ferry, which was suspended earlier due to the hazardous conditions, has now reopened and is back in service. Stay off coastal footpaths and keep tuned for updates. A Dorset charity is opening up its soft play centre to adults for the very first time. They hope the new initiative will raise funds while improving mental well-being. Buzz correspondent Beb Woodland tried it out today.
Diverse Abilities is a charity supporting children and adults with disabilities across Dorset. 2 years ago, they took over the Treehouse Soft Play Centre in Herne, transforming it into a hub for their young service users. Now, they're launching something completely new. On February the 6th, the charity will open the doors of the Treehouse to adults only, under their name Big Kid Energy. The fundraising event will allow adults to enjoy the soft play area, with games tables set up for activities like pool and beer pong, and guests are encouraged to bring their own drinks.
Adults can still have fun, and that is our main thing, and we want to put that and install that into every adult, like get your big kid energy out.
Diverse Abilities says that the soft play area has already had a powerful impact on the mental health of adults that they support.
We have one guy we support, he's in his 50s, and the first time he ever used a slide was with us in this past year.
Diverse Abilities hopes that Big Kid Energy will become a regular event, with all funds raised going towards expanding their services and building a stronger, safer community for people with disabilities. Ben Woodland, Buzz News, Bournemouth.
Local businesses are calling for a cut to business rates. Cafe owner says a cut would boost profits and make them exceptions of them more realistic. Gabrielle Del Cruz reports.
Businesses are calling for a cut to VAT rates. Hospitality workers have launched a number of national petitions calling for Labour to slash business rates by 20%. Adam Lowe is one of the owners of Pastizos Local, a new cafe in Upper Parkstone run by him and his brothers. He said the business has gained great reception since its opening a few weeks back.
Oh, it's been amazing. There's a lot of support in the area, and people I've been serving for a long time, they all live around here, and it's a good spot to if you're in Ashley Cross or if you're in Westbourne area, but going vice versa, then it's it's early days, so whether or not people know we're here yet, I don't know. I'm still working on that, but yeah, it's been a good reception and a lot of support to get us up and running.
Despite its success, VAT rates could prove to be a concern for the future.
We're still learning it, so I think it's going to be a lot of surprise on our end. But from everything I've learned from the people that have taught me in the past, they obviously would tell me bits here and there, but I was always a bit out of the loop to understand it myself. But I think as we learn as we go, it's going to be learning curve for sure.
In another local business, Big Wick's Bakery, Petland Boy, said the rates have made things expensive.
But I know just in general, business rates are expensive and rent's expensive, and it just means cutting corners on wages, and you could, just having to basically find money in little places and stuff like that.
Gabriel Dela Cruz, Buzz News.
A man from Dorset has shared a story of how he turned his life around after becoming paralysed at 16. Kevin broke his back in a car crash 36 years ago and now works as a wheelchair assessor in Bournemouth, helping local people find the perfect mobility aid for them. Our reporter Abby went along to meet him.
I visited Lifestyle and Mobility in Boscombe to speak to Kevin about the difference he feels he can make as a disabled person fitting wheelchairs. He told me how his life turned upside down when he was only 16.
I was involved in a transit van car crash. There was 9 people in the van at the time. Took the bend too fast, span round and hit onto the oncoming traffic, which smashed into my back and broke my back in 3 places. I'm a complete spinal injury from T6 down. It was a lot to take on, but as a very young adult, you sort of get over it in your own little way. I was very angry with life for the first few years, really. But I had good family around me, good friends around me, and they pulled me through it, and you just carry on and get over life.
Kevin noticed there were very few services available for active wheelchair users in Bournemouth, so set up his own business in 2006. A lightweight, properly fitted wheelchair makes a huge difference to disabled people, allowing them to live their life to the fullest. He eventually started working for Lifestyle and Mobility, where he feels he can make the biggest impact on the local community. Being disabled brings a unique perspective to his role.
We know what you need, what's expected in your day-to-day life. We do it every day. It's our life. We are disabled, as you are, the customer. So, yeah, as a wheelchair assessor, I feel that I've got the knowledge and the background through my disability to help other people.
Abby West, Buzz News, Bournemouth.
Here's Ben Wheeler with the sport.
The Weymouth and Portland Police have released a statement following a serious attack at the Dorchester Town game against Weymouth back in December. It has been reported that a member of security was assaulted, with the victim reportedly being punched and kicked by an attendee as he was attempting to escort out the stadium. The victim was then taken to hospital with injuries to his head and ribs, which were thankfully believed to not be serious. This comes after a non-league incident in North Wales, where a man was arrested upon suspicion of assault following a viral video showing one player elbow another. Football violence has increased in recent years. During the 2024-25 season, there were 1,932 football-related arrests. 10% of these arrests have been made during games played in European competitions. It was a busy night in the Champions League, which saw 3 English teams in action, including Tottenham Hotspur. They came out on top with a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund as former AFC Bournemouth striker Dom Solanke bagged Spurs' second. Other notable results saw current Champions League holders PSG lose to Sporting Lisbon despite Kavica Kvaratskhelia scoring a memorable goal. Also, there was a big upset for Manchester City as they were stunned 3-1 by Norwegian side Bodo Glimt. Tomorrow morning there will be a BCP Council meeting discussing the proposal to expand the Vitality Stadium. The plans were set to be recommended to be approved, but a final decision will be made after the 10 a.m. meeting. If successful, the Cherries will see their south stand extending to 7,000 seats, taking the overall capacity to over 20,000. Other improvements are a new fan zone, an outside broadcasting area and more. Hamworthy United have been playing at the Dorset County Ground for 75 years. Just over 30 years ago, it became the Dorset FA's headquarters, which has had both positive and negative implication on the Hammers. Connor Hannon takes the story.
With the Dorset FA moving to the county ground in 1991, it came with immediate mass improvements to the infrastructure of the site to support Hamworthy United in their attempt to build a community football club. However, with this they lost one thing: control. Andy James has been the chairman of the Hammers for 9 months now, but has been involved with the club for decades.
It's a fantastic facility now. It's been difficult over the years, I'm not going to lie, but we have a really good, solid working relationship with DCFA now. We have our pitch slots, we have a great clubhouse, and we have a good relationship with Roger Vaughan. Come in 2 years ago as CEO of Dorset FA. So I like have a meeting with the DCFA team, and we work together. We work together to try and make the ground as inclusive as it can be, but also benefit both parties.
The community ethos in football will always be vital to keeping clubs alive and running, and no one knows the importance of that more than Andy James.
Running a club of this size, it's a financial challenge every day, and we're doing okay. After a couple of years ago, we're in a very stable position, but by no means can we be complacent. And that's my job, to try and bring more people into the board to help, but also bring the community in. We do the mascots every game, and we just love it. So we're really starting to build that bigger, wider community that use the ground, but also know a bit more about Hamworthy. And getting that message out there, I think, is really important as part of my role.
It hasn't been an easy ride for the Hammers, but they're finally in a stable position with their home as the county ground. Connor Hannon, Buzz News, Hamworthy.
Bashley FC will face AFC Stoneham in the semi-finals of the Southampton Senior Cup. Theo Otasanya Salvo reports. Apologies for those problems. We'll come back to that in a bit. A return for Bournemouth rugby captain Grant Hancock as he helps his side retain an unbeaten record. Duarte Fialio reports.
Grant Hancock's decisive penalty against St Tiffians at the weekend extended Bournemouth Rugby's unbeaten run to 34 matches, with the club still yet to lose away from home since September 2024.
For year on year, we have been the flagship club of Dorset Rugby. We've been the team performing at the highest standard. Yes, at the moment we're in a team with another few local clubs with Wimborne and Ellingham and Ringwood, but we're sat at the top of the pile. We're sat at the top of our pile for a reason. I'd say we are the club performing at the best, sort of the best standard locally, and we want that to continue. And equally, we want players that play locally, and even for other clubs, if they feel that they wish to push their rugby onto the next level, Bournemouth Rugby Club's the place to do it.
Grant Hancock has come back from an 11-month injury due to an ACL, with still Bournemouth sitting at top place with a 4-point lead, with Winchester sitting second. The captain believes the rugby club has the backing from the local community to keep the momentum going.
We're a club that has been very successful over the years, and we find ourselves in the position we're in now, and there is an expectation locally from the community, from our sponsors, from the companies who support us, and equally from the coaching staff, that we do succeed, and that we work our way back up that rugby pyramid. So I think the only stress is there's expectation to succeed, and we've got to deliver on that.
They look to retain the unbeaten run against Rees Wadebridge at home in a couple weeks. Duarte Fialio, Buzz News, Bournemouth.
That's all we've got time for today. And from all of us here, thanks for watching and goodbye.